Hey, good morning, good afternoon. Good to see you again. Nice and easy one today. Short, about an hour. Some light heat training. Nothing too crazy. Saving it for SRC tomorrow. I would say no particular reason, just wanted to change it up today. Do this, I forget what the name of the challenge is called, but this challenge where there's a bunch of different routes in a row, and then if you complete them, you complete the challenge, get some more XP, some more coins to get some of the more rewards and bikes and that kind of thing. And I like when it's just an easy ride. Changes it up a little bit. Different terrain, different route. More entertaining for sure. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I like these new routes too, the ones in Sri Lanka. I love the up and down like this. I've heard of that protocol as well. I have not done that one before personally, the hot bath. I've done the post-ride saunas for a long time. Not every day, but there was a time when I would do it every day for a couple weeks. Now I probably do it twice a week maybe, just after a ride, sitting there for 20 minutes. I definitely feel better because of that training. It's really hard at first, but once you get used to it, you can tolerate it better. I never go super hard with it like some guys do. I don't feel like there's an extra benefit from that. Yeah, I noticed that as well. I used to get it really bad in the middle of the night, just wake up covered in sweat. But with doing it consistently, doing the heat training consistently, that definitely went away. Now it's very normal. My body's adapted to it, but that first block, or when you're not used to it, it can definitely cause a lot of stuff like that. A quicker time between the beginning of exercise and when you start sweating, or just throughout the day. If your body overheats, you'll just start sweating a ton, like instantly. So, gotta be a little bit careful with that if you're going into an office for work or something like that. But I found that I got used to it in a decent amount of time. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, I remember there would just be random times where I would just get a little bit too hot for a minute, and then I would just be covered in sweat within 2 or 3 minutes. So it's a little hard to deal with that, but I mean, that's kind of what you expect when you induce those physiological changes. So it makes sense. And then once your body adapts, it's better at cooling and exercising in the heat and everything. Yeah, it definitely works. I'm interested to see where the science goes and how the long-term effects of this thing seem to go, because I've only known about heat training for a couple of years. I don't know how many riders have been doing it consistently for more than 2 or 3 years, because it seems like in the context of one season, if you do it twice a week year round, it definitely helps. I don't know about doing it 2-3 years in a row. I don't know if the benefits drop off at some point, or not drop off, but plateau, and then you stop getting a benefit from it, or if it's like altitude training where as long as you're recovering enough in between, if you do multiple altitude training blocks or training camps, the benefits just stack on top of each other. So if you can handle 3 camps a year, that's what the top riders do, like Visma and UAE. So it's like, I don't know if heat training is the same. It seems like, for me personally, the benefits have stacked on top of each other, because I've been doing it for passive heat training for a couple of years, active heat training for maybe around a year. So we'll see. Good evening, 360. Good to see you again. Legs are definitely sore from yesterday. I hadn't done torque intervals like that in a long time. Definitely want to get back into doing that consistently. Yeah, the science is really interesting. It's one of those things where it seems super, super effective. Like, it makes you way stronger. Of course, you have to do it the right way, the right frequency, the right intensity, that kind of thing. That's why the core temperature sensors are so important, to make it as accurate as possible. But yeah, it's the gains are pretty big. I don't know how many pros don't do heat training at this point. Seems like most of them do. So I don't know. I know I'm gonna keep doing it for sure. Room temperature water. Not really. Thank you. I like the beanie. it keeps my head very warm. It definitely adds to the heat training effect. I usually drink cold water. Is there some science I don't know about drinking warmer water? Is there more of an effect to that? Or to just increase your core temperature, you could drink warm water? Theoretically, I think that would work. I don't know how big the benefits would be though. But I have heard of the intentional dehydration, not drinking during certain sessions to try to get some adaptations about that. Very interesting. Or doing it before a race and racing slightly dehydrated, like 1.5 kilos. It makes sense. I mean, your body doesn't shut down when it's 2 or 3% dehydrated. Once you get to 5 or 10, I mean, the effects are a lot bigger. Yeah, that makes sense about the cool water. So, I've done heat training sessions without drinking. And you have to be careful with that for sure, because you don't want to overdo it. But, yeah, I guess the core temperature would go down with cool water. But I also don't drink a ton during the session. More about rehydrating afterwards. Not sure if it matters too much. If you're coming into the session at a good hydration level, and then of course you're going to be dehydrated after. So then you have to replenish that. But yeah, there's so many little things that add up that you can change. See if they induce another adaptation or an additional one, or change it. It's very interesting. My biggest thing that I like about heat training is that I basically I rarely do zone 1 recovery rides anymore, or like 90 minutes like low zone 2. I just do heat training for an hour instead, where the mechanical load on my legs is very low, like 200 watts, sometimes less, maybe 250, but it's easy on the legs. You can get more out of the session too. Yeah, the dehydration before weigh-in is very, very individual. I know at Worlds they did a hydration test before the race, but in a weekly weigh-in, you can do whatever you want. So if you want to dehydrate yourself, you can try that. When the weigh-in window is really close to the race, like with SRC, I think it's 40 minutes minimum, 40 to 60, something like that. So then you're really risking your performance if you're dehydrating within an hour of the race, within 30 minutes of your warm-up. You can do a slight dehydration, but a couple kilos would be pretty extreme. So you gotta be careful with that. A few guys have done that. I don't know who still does on a weekly basis, but yeah. Yeah, Milan, this is one of the things that I wanted to change for a long time at MyWhoosh, was that when someone passes the Power Passport test, I want them to get an email or a notification saying they passed. But as far as I know, if you pass, you just hear nothing. You only hear something if you don't pass. So pretty much everyone wants confirmation because it's a big deal. It'd be great to automate that. When you get approved, when you pass, just send them an email. But I don't know why they don't do that. Yeah, don't wait for anything. If you get an email from them, it probably means there's an issue. So if you hear nothing, you're good. I agree. There were many things like that that have been years in the making where I feel like it'd be very easy to change it, but for whatever reason, it hasn't changed. Yeah, and then so many people, they never ask, so they never hear anything. And then they just get so much stress and anxiety about the test and just not hearing anything. And they'll go for days or a couple of weeks without hearing anything. They're thinking about it every day, and all they need to do is send an email saying you passed. But yeah. Yeah, I would not count on them responding to those emails. It's not you, it's everybody. So don't take it personally. The Power Passport on MyWhoosh is the FTP, the threshold test, the power test, and it, yes, Milan, you can just sign up for SRC. Yeah. If for whatever reason they need more information, they'll let you know. So yeah, it's, if you don't hear anything, then you're good to go and you should be able to race. But the Power Passport is, I don't know if it's changed, I don't think so. But I think it's 1 or 2 sprints, like 6 seconds or something like that, maybe 10. Really short sprints. And then a 3-minute all-out effort. And then a big, like 15, 20-minute recovery. And then a 12-minute all-out effort. And then your FTP is calculated based on those numbers that you do during the test. And then your FTP, that's how you get categorized for SRC. So it's like a fitness and FTP test, but it's more exciting than a 20-minute effort. It's probably a bit more accurate than a ramp test. It's just MyWhoosh's version of an FTP test. Yeah, I agree. It is a big hassle. I mean, it was a big learning curve for me to learn it as well. And most people, yeah, if you're not a regular live streamer, a regular high-tech person, it's a lot to put together. But it's one of those things where once you learn it, once you do it once, it's way easier the next time. And you don't have to do it often. It's not like once every 6 to 8 weeks. It's like way more spread out than that if you need to redo it at all. So yeah, when that much money's on the line, there are very high barriers to the entry and verification and all that, which I think is great. I definitely think we need more of that. more testing, more anti-cheating protocols, that kind of thing. Yeah, thank you, Milan. That's the exact workout structure right there. 7-minute recovery, 3-minute effort after the sprints, and then 20-minute recovery, and then 20 minutes. 20-minute recovery, 12-minute effort at the end. All right, that was a good route. Let's pick another one. So we got like 25 minutes to go. What's the next course? Can we do it in 25 minutes? Yeah, maybe? I don't know. 10K? Let's see if we can do this in 25 minutes. Yeah, doing the solo power testing on an indoor trainer is crazy hard. Like mentally, I just find it so much easier to follow people in a race. Even when your heart rate is like 99% of your max, you can still keep pushing, whereas like when you're just staring at a screen, it's just you versus the bike. It's so hard, so much harder. But the more you do it, you also get used to those efforts too, and you can pace them really well when you know your numbers. The first time you do the test, it's probably going to be crazy, crazy hard. If you've never done a 3-minute all out, 12-minute all out, the 3-minute all out is like, you're just going full gas the whole time. 12-minute, you definitely have to pace it, but Milan, yeah, that's a good one. I mean, the breathing is like, it's so intense. So intense. But as you ride more, as you train more, you definitely get used to that, and you get used to controlling your breath and managing it. But yeah, sometimes it just sounds like pure death. Just struggling. Just holding on, trying to keep pushing. I know what you mean. $3.2K at 10%. Oh man, this is gonna be a hard climb. That's great. That's the most you can ask for during a power test, is to get the most out of yourself and feel like you did your best effort. At the end of the day, you can't expect a specific number. You can only expect your best effort, and if you do that, that's perfect. You couldn't do any better. So there's nothing to be upset about. Right, and then it sets a baseline, sets up your training, and you go from there. And you can see yourself get stronger from those numbers too. My current FTP, somewhere around 380, 385 at 73 kilos. So I'm definitely not at race weight. A little heavy right now, but that's fine, gaining power. And then the goal is to increase the power. I only had my off season a month ago, so the power is just going up. So definitely not the best power yet. That'll come next year. That's the goal. This climb is so steep. So many sections of 15, 20%. I like it. I like these climbs a lot. Thank you. Yeah, definitely happy with the numbers at this time of year. Very happy. Oh, 21.6%. Whew. Yeah, it's good to have Hayden back on the bike. He needed that off season, and I'm really excited about where he can go from here. He's fresh now, feeling good, feeling way better. So that's great. Great to have him back. Scared to race against him soon, but it's great to have him back for sure. Yeah, 270 at 68. Definitely very solid. Very solid fitness. And just coming off of illness, like, it'll just come up from there. Yeah, ROUVY and Zwift, they're just different. I would say I prefer one over the other. They're for different things, I would say. ROUVY I love for the Zone 1, Zone 2 rides. Just an endless amount of routes, which I really, really like. Zwift, I've pretty much ridden all the courses by this point. So it's great for other stuff. I love the verified Zwift racing, the Prestige series. It's getting hot now. This climb is hard. Wow, it's just steep. We're only like a third of the way up this climb. Oh man, did Nikki say that? I see he's still racing on Zwift, so I think he's doing ZRL stuff just for fun. Probably retired from the high level verified racing, but I've still seen him on there. His Alp to Zwift time was crazy. Oh yeah, the PRL full. That's a great course. I've only completed the entire thing once, I think. And that was a race in like 2020, 2021, I think. It's like 4 hours. Super, super long. When you get to the end of these routes on ROUVY, it ends your ride there. I think when you do a workout, it does loop you back to the start, so you can keep going. But when you finish these routes, it takes you back to the menu. You can click another route, do a cool down, something like that. Yeah, for the long indoor stuff, like 2-3 hours zone 2, I love doing that on ROUVY. You can find so many different courses. You could do 3 hours on the flat or 3 hours in the mountains. I love that variety. I can see these super steep ramps coming up in like the next 100 meters. Probably 20%. Flevoland in the Netherlands. I'll try to find a course. If you find a course on ROUVY in that area, send it to me on Instagram or something. That'd be great to do that ride. That sounds cool. I'm guessing it's flat. How steep is this about to be? 21%, 22? Yep, sounds about right for the Netherlands. (16) 19. Is he gonna hit 20? 22. Ooh, that's steep. Oh, nice. Yeah, Niall is on ROUVY. Great to have him on ROUVY. That's cool. I love his videos. I watch almost all of them. Crazy to see that power. 1,000 watts for 30 seconds. Another super steep section right here. This looks like 20 plus again. %. Ooh. 25, 26. so steep. Not even doing 60 RPM at 250, 260 watts. I could probably walk faster than this. So it's like 25% again. No way it hits 30%. Maybe. 4.2K an hour. Oh. Almost 30%. Yeah, that's a great question. I have definitely been too light, to the point where I didn't have any punch. Like 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. I could barely do 350, 400 watts. That was at maybe 62, 63 kilos. Right now I'm 73. I would say my best race weight is around 69, 70 kilos, where I have a ton of power, but the watts per kilo is really high too. So when I was too skinny, I was just like not eating enough, training a ton, 20, 25 hour weeks. And then, yeah, just the training I was doing, I was trying to be a climber, time trialist, so a lot of 10, 20 minute threshold intervals, something like that. Whereas I thought I had really bad 1 and 2 minute power, but I was just way too little. I'm 179 centimeters, 5'11", an American. So it was very, very skinny. I could barely do 5 push-ups. And it took years to figure that out, so give yourself time. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to lose or gain weight really fast. It takes time, but for the long term, that's best. Whew. Oh, nice. Yeah. So 62 is very, very, very skinny. I could never dream of doing 700 for 30 seconds, 700 watts. Now I can do that for about a minute at the end of a race. Huge, huge difference. Yes, I do know Milan. That is super lean, but again, it's natural too. Like for me, 62 was way too light, whereas there's other pros that are my height and they're probably 56, 57 kilos, and they're actually really strong. They actually race really well. Whereas like their off season, they might get to 64 kilos or something, but there's other riders that are around my height. Their ideal race weight is 75 to 78 kilos. Just powerhouses, tons of muscle. So it's very individual. Very, very individual. obviously lost 5 kilos since then. But yeah, it's good to monitor that. I always think it's better to focus on the process than the outcome, and just focus on eating healthy, getting enough calories, enough carbs, enough protein, and all that good stuff. Because that'll get you to your ideal race weight. Like, you don't know what your race weight is going to be until you're eating super well, training super well, everything's balanced, high energy, all that. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, I am racing MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club tomorrow, SRC. Almost done with this ride. Just got a 5K cool down now, and then saving the rest for tomorrow. I like the course tomorrow. I wish it was a little bit harder. I really like to finish on top of the Wollongong climb in the Australia world. But we'll see. This one's chaotic, the course tomorrow. It's got like a downhill with 1K to go, and then a flat sprint finish. It'll definitely be hard. Oh, nice. I've heard very good things about Kate. I know a lot of people that have worked with her for nutrition, so that's great. I hope that goes well. It should be the last uphill for this course. Ooh, you'll be in Cat 2 with me. Yeah, so any tips? I would say, let's see, get ready for a hard start. First couple minutes could be very, very hard. Watch out for the preems. Make sure you know where the sprint and KOM preems are, because the field will go very, very hard and accelerate through those preems. So don't get dropped there. I would always stay in the front half of the group, especially when it's stressed out. Not stressed, stretched out. Because that's how splits form. Watch the downhills for sure. On Wollongong, there's gaps all over. Especially on the downhills. Make sure you know how to use the super tuck, which is in the top right corner of the screen when you're racing. On the really steep downhills, when you coast, you can click the super tuck and your speed will go up a little bit, even at the same power, or no power actually, just coasting. Use that on the downhills for sure. And then at the finish, if you're there with the reduced group, watch for people going early, either a late breakaway in the last 5K, or the sprints are usually really long. Someone usually goes with 1 or 2K to go, and then it just gets really stretched out, and then it ends up being 30, 40, 50 second sprint. Not like 10, 12 seconds peak powered, but super long sprint. Use your momentum as much as you can. Yeah, I'm very intrigued about the wind in SRC. A lot of questions about it, but I'm sure I'll learn as I use it, as they implement that in more races or test events or things like that. I'll have to see how it works before I really can try to figure it out. But yeah, I'm assuming it'll change the speeds. A headwind will make it harder to push in like a solo breakaway. A tailwind, there'll be more splits. I don't know how the positioning is going to work, because if there's a big crosswind from the right, and your avatar is on the right side of the road, I mean, do you have to manually steer to get them to the left side? And how does that work when, I mean, the avatars don't necessarily ride through each other, but they don't completely block each other off. You kind of have to go around. Sometimes you get stuck. I don't know how that's going to work. It'll take some practice. It'll be tricky. It'll be interesting to see if the wind settings are just very basic for every race, like the same, like 0 to 10 kilometers an hour, something light, or if maybe once every month or two they'll do an SRC on a flat course, like that Arabia 7 Gems course that's super flat, and make the wind 25 to 35k an hour, so it's just super hard crosswinds the whole race. It'll be interesting to see what they implement with that. You're welcome, Daniel. Excited to see you there. What should I look out for your name or a specific kit that you'll be wearing in the pack? Honestly, if it's your first race in Cat 2, it's not a bad idea to try and follow me around, because I really like this course. I feel like I have a good handle on it, so I'll probably be in a good position for most of the race. You can kind of follow my moves and see where I sit and everything. But if I get dropped, don't follow me. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the crosswinds work with raw power versus watts per kilo, because right now MyWhoosh is pretty heavy on the watts per kilo, or not watts per kilo. They're heavy on the raw wattage advantage for those riders. So with the wind, especially like a cross tailwind, the guys with 450 to 500 watt FTPs, Hayden and Jason and Vink, all those guys will just destroy everybody on the flat, even more than they already do now. Thanks, Milan. All right, I'll look for your name. You were Cat 4 in February. Wow. That is a very big improvement. It'd be good to have you up there. So if you've been racing for that long, maybe you have done this course before. Maybe you already know the key points. But either way, prepare yourself for 2 minutes flat out on both climbs. Actually on all 3 of them, on the aquarium too. That one might be a little bit longer, 2-3 minutes. I think last time, both of those efforts for me were 2 minutes at 460 to 480, maybe 490 on one of the harder laps. So very, very hard. Oh man, they put this climb right at the end. Let's see if I can roll over it, or if I have to pedal. Can I make it to the top? Oh, not quite. All right, that's it for today. I'll be back for SRC tomorrow, bright and early. Tomorrow I will be back on the trainer. How many hours before this? 9 9 hours before right now. So probably start warming up at 3:15 a.m., somewhere around then. I'll see you all then. Thanks for watching today. See you next time.